Plug in, turn it up, and rock and roll.
Trying for the stunner, a rock and roll dance is up in time!
A rock and roll dance, power, toughness, and chart-topping speed.
A rock and roll dance is going to win it! 148-1 in the Meadowlands stage.
A rock and roll dance, now standing at Diamond Creek Farm.
Derick Giwner, along with Matt Rose, the happiest man in harness racing, here to discuss the harness spotlight for November 15th and 16th. We have some races at Dover Downs on Thursday, the 15th. It's the Matron. There's 4 divisions for 3-year-olds. We're going to look at one of those, and we're also going to look at Matt's favorite race of the week, the preferred filly mare handicap at the Meadowlands, because he insists on it. We're going to start on Thursday at Dover Downs. It's race number 12, what we're going to look at, the Matron for the 3-year-old Colt Pacers, the elite division of the group, $193,750 on the line. We have a select group of 8 in this Matron division, and it's led by, do we want to say Jimmy Freight or Lather Up?
You know, why isn't it led by Dorsador Hanover, who's made $1.2 million? You know what? For a near the end of season race, you got some. It's pretty stacked with 3 horses you can make a solid case for. Lather Up, we know his talent. Jimmy Freight, great story, just keeps plugging along. Dorsador Hanover, maybe the 10 for 19, and maybe the. If you could say a horse that's earned $1.2 million has flown a little bit under the radar this year, not gotten the respect he deserves, it could be this one. Could he wrap up divisional honors with a win here? It's a pretty intriguing matchup over what I'm assuming is going to be a windy, rainy, snowy, sloppy track at Dover Downs.
Yeah, I hear like schools are closed in the area and stuff. I don't know, because there was a snowflake falling somewhere. Dorsador Hanover clearly, is the divisional leader right now. I mean, whether or not he keeps that, title will, I guess, remains to be seen. I think post 7 is certainly not a great spot for him here. Though it's interesting there are 3 Burke horses in here, so he has a 3, 6, and 7. If this is the plan from post 3, who has tons of speed leaves, maybe Dorsador Hanover doesn't, and he can set it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's what makes for an intriguing affair, and especially, like we said, the off track also. We know Lather Up, we know his story, we know his situation. I certainly have been leaning in his favor, looking at this race from the minute it was drawn. Should I be afraid because of what potentially is an off track? Given his tendencies, I'm not.
I'm not really worried about the off track as much as the horse itself. I mean, you don't know what to expect. Is he the fastest horse in this race? Yeah, he is. Is he going to behave? I have no idea. I mean, I guess it's the kind of thing where if you're getting 7-2 or 3-1 on him, you know what? You could take a shot because he could win this race by 5. If you're not getting that kind of price, if he's 2-1 or 8-5, then you don't go anywhere near him, I think.
It seems like we say the same thing every week about this horse, but you know what? If he behaves himself, which I'm in agreement with you, I think he will. I think he'll just sprint out from the rail. You can say he has the home field advantage. You could say to a certain extent, being back in Delaware. I don't know if you could say Dover or Harrington is technically his home track, but definitely his home state. And you know what? I'm going to go on board with him at in a race. I don't know who's going to be the favorite here between those 3 horses. They may all split the money equally. I'm going to go on board with Lather Up. I'm going to assume he's going to behave himself, fast track, sloppy track, whatever the case may be, and he's going to blast down the road. And we're going to see a big speed display, and maybe the tactics are he's going to try not to give anyone else a chance here. I don't know, but you know what? I'm going to be on board at. I'm going to take a stab over, obviously, the very deserving Jimmy Freight and Dorsador Hanover. Tough to make a case for any of the horses to be selected on top, but we do have some quality stock in here. This is the plan to make his 4th start for Burke. Done well, another Burke trainee that making his 3rd start for Burke. Schnitzel Do Something, who was he's thrown some good efforts from time to time, but Lather Up down the road, behaves himself this week. Tries to put out maybe a bottom out speed display. We'll see what happens.
Listen, I can't blame you for picking Lather Up. I don't see how he, bottoms out this field or tries to go down the road. I mean, to me, Burke isn't sending out 3 horses in this race to take back and not try.
Meanwhile, it seems like Burke has 3 horses in every race.
But still, I mean, this is the plan in Dorsa Dura Hanover. I just can't see both these horses just taking back and just giving up the race. I mean, I got to assume someone's going to go out after Lather Up in this field, and that's why I'm kind of leaning towards Jimmy Freight. I mean, I thought his performance at Pocono was solid. I didn't think it was unbelievable, but it was a solid performance.
Listen, that was a strong 2-move effort and was
listen, it was a solid performance.
He wore down a nice horse also.
It was a solid performance. It didn't blow me away, but it was a solid performance. Right. What I like about him is he shows up every single week. He's extremely versatile. He can leave. He can come from off the pace. Doesn't seem to matter. I don't have to worry about he's going to break on the final turn or break at any point during the race. I don't have to worry about adversity. He can handle the adversity. We've seen him, take air. Doesn't seem to bother him. Especially if you think these 3 horses, Lather Up, Jimmy Freight, and Dorsa Dura, are going to be pretty close in the wagering. I'll take my shot with, the most consistent horse who drew the best.
Fair enough. I certainly can't argue with any point you made there.
So Jimmy Freight for me, race 12 at Dover on Thursday. Matt is going with Lather Up, and we're going to Friday at the Meadowlands for the preferred handicap. It's race number 8. You see we got the program numbers and the post positions up there because they're not exactly the same.
Yeah, we discussed this race last week, and we talked about Caveat Alley was the favorite. Obviously, she's not in this week in this race. And it all came down to intention, and she didn't even have to work that hard to
and the field's scratched down,
yes,
too.
We discussed how she wouldn't have to work that hard. You know what? She didn't work that hard, and she jogged and paid a ridiculously short price. But I guess you could say better a short price than a long face, as yours truly did give her out at a cold selection at 1 to 5.
Matt was hot as a pistol last week. He couldn't miss.
Anyway, this race is a little more interesting with the 3 solid, classy horses drawn outside. The 6 Dawn on the Beach, the 7 Blue Moon Stride, and the 8 Pure Country. And again, it comes down to who's going to be aggressive enough early, and where there's more intent. Who's looking to win and cash it? Who's looking for something tightening down the road? It definitely makes for an interesting affair, and I will say I don't think I'm leaning in any one of those 3 horses' directions here.
Well, just looking at it, I mean, the 1 and the 1A, Monica Gallagher and Winsome Glory, these 2 clearly have early speed. They should be part of the action. There's no doubt about that. Dawn on the Beach is tough to figure because she qualifies a couple times and she gets sick. It's tough to be on her bandwagon, just off some qualifiers and then a scratch sick line. Blue Moon Stride, I was just listening to Post Time with Mike and Mike to give them a shout out, and I heard that Blue Moon Stride might be going back to Down Under with when Daly goes home. I think that's what he said. So maybe this is one of her last couple of starts here. I assume she'll be in the TVG along with Pure Country, who this is her penultimate start, as Frank Drucker likes to say all the time. Pure Country is going to start in this race, starting the TVG Mare's pace, and then she's calling it a career and going to become a mom.
So she's calling it a career and becoming a mom. Why is she suddenly going free-legged?
I think they're just taking a shot here. I think they're. Why? I think from what I heard with trainer Jimmy Tactor, is that this horse, has always, warmed up free-legged and done really well, and he wanted to see what she could do as a free-legged pacer, and she qualified. If you go back and watch that qualify, it was spectacular. She did an absolutely spectacular job in that qualifier. She looked great. There was no signs of, any kind of sloppy gait or anything like that. I feel like this is a race where, they're going out, and I think Yannick's going to have her forwardly placed, going to put her in position, and I think she's going to get the job done. I think she's proven over her career she's the best horse. There's nothing to lose here. You only got a couple of races left, and I think they'll want to go out with a couple of races and a couple of wins and, get her over 2.5 million lifetime.
All right. It's just we don't see that many free-legged pacers, and it's just interesting. She only has a couple starts left in her career, and now they're tinkering with the concept of racing free legs. It's just kind of odd to me. Anyway, I'm looking at the Burke entry.
Sometimes horses are faster when they're free legged.
Well, then why did it take 61 starts?
The hobbles actually slow them down to some extent. Why did it take? Because there was no reason to do it. She was fine. She raced well. Now you're at the end. You take a shot. What's the worst that could happen? It doesn't work. You put them back. You put them back on for the TVG Mare pace. And it seemed to work in the qualifier. She looked fine.
Okay. In any event, I like the Burke entry here. Monica Gallagher, the one and the 1A Winsome Glory. Post 5 and post 6, perfectly adequate fine mid-pack post inside the 3 Class A mares that we discussed. This is a pretty decent and formful entry. Monica Gallagher, obviously no match to Carrie Darley last week, but second best. Has, I believe, 4 wins already over the Meadowlands surface. Has been first or second in her last handful of starts. And Winsun Glory is returning back from its very successful stint in Hoosier with a win last start in 51 and change. She has a couple wins and a 150 mark at the Meadowlands already this season. I think either or both can be forwardly placed here, and one of them has to work out a perfect trip when all's said and done. And I'll take a stab. I can get somewhere around the 4-1 that they're listed on the morning line.
Isn't it risky to take a shot with those two, figuring that if Darwin on the Beach, if Darwin on the Beach, Blue Moon Stride, or Pure Country, if one of them are even close, don't you figure that one of them are going to be able to run the other two down?
They could. However, like we mentioned, all 3 of them have question marks. Darwin on the Beach, question mark. Off few qualifiers and a scratch league. Blue Moon Stride off since the Breeders' Crown Final. She may be too far back to threaten. She's not put in play. Pure Country we mentioned already. You know what? These are 3 big ifs, and if the price is good enough with the Burke entry with 2 formful established mares, then I'll take that shot.
Okay, well, Matt's going to go with the Burke entry 1 and 1A, Monica Gallagher and Winsun Glory. I'm going to go with number 8, Pure Country, in race number 8, the preferred handicap on Friday night at the Meadowlands. Meadowlands also has some stakes action on Saturday. You get 2 eliminations for the Valley Victory. And then the 1 elimination, I think it's the Governor's Cup, has 1 elimination where 7 out of 10 are going to move on to the final. And then next week we'll be back with the TVG finals and the full Final 4. So plenty of stakes action to basically wrap up the stakes season, though I think we have the Progress Pace the following week after that. And then we'll go to strictly overnights. I know Matt's going to love it. Maybe we'll cover some Yonkers Raceway action for Matt.
Well, I seem to actually cash once in a while in overnight races as opposed to scratching my head in stakes races.
You had 2 winners last week.
You're right. You know what? Bloodline, not Bloodline. What's Blood Money?
Show us your cash. Where is it all?
Where is it? It's been churned, reinvested and churned.
Reinvested. Well, we'll see you next week. We'll churn some more. Good luck.